It was used to dealing with relatively small things like floods, like terrorist attack with 5 people getting killed or something like that. But with a crisis like this, which is much more on the scale of a war, it was just it just couldn't physically. It couldn't function. Data-wise, it couldn't function. All of the systems going in and out of it didn't scale.
Was the Prime Minister rather averse to attending Cobra on account of its physical location?
It's hard to say. I mean, he certainly preferred to be in his study, and he didn't like going to Cobra. I deliberately put the so as I referred to earlier on, when we created the XS and XO structure, I deliberately put that in Cobra so that there were kind of live screens on the wall. We could record action notes in real time. It was just a more effective way of handling the ministers and handling the decision making. He wasn't enormously keen on it, no.
Right. 12th of March 2020, you need to chair daily meetings in the Cabinet Room, not Cobra. On this, from tomorrow, I'm going to tell the system this, not capital letters with the DAs on the phone all the time either, so people can't tell you the truth. Well, you did run down the Cobra system, Mr. Cummings.
So I certainly thought that the Cobra meetings that we'd had with the PM were very Potemkin. They were extremely scripted. And then having had these sort of pointless things, you then had all sorts of people running straight out and yabbering to the media about what had just been said in a completely undisciplined way, which then undermined public confidence in things, caused a lot of trouble.
You were not keen on the devolved administrations being concerned in and attending Cobra.
If you're having meetings to actually figure out the truth, then meetings like that have to be conducted in a very different way. They can't be one of these things with 50 people on a video conference with the DAs when things immediately... Those DA meetings were not meetings to try to figure out the truth about hard issues. And my concern was that even at this late stage in the crisis, a lot of people in the Cabinet Office were still fixated on the kind of Potemkin, maintaining the Potemkin aspects rather than actually getting to the heart of things.
Why did you want Michael Gove to be in charge of regular devolved administration updates and not the Prime Minister?
I thought Gove would handle it 10 times better.
Handle what 10 times better?
Handle the process of dealing with the DAs. As I said before, the whole XSXO structure, Michael Gove had more experience of anybody.
Slow down, please, Mr. Cummings.
Michael Gove had more experience of anybody in that room, the Cobra briefing room, because he was in there literally daily from July, August, September, etc., all the way through 2019. So I knew that he understood the whole rhythm, the process, the structure, the staff, and it just seemed like an obvious sort of way of divvying up responsibilities.
Mr. Gove was the Chancellor of the Duchy of Lancaster, was he not?
Yeah.
Was he the Prime Minister?
Was he what, sorry?
Was he the Prime Minister?
Obviously not.
No. Did you not want the Prime Minister to be in a meeting room with the devolved administrations, the constituent parts of the United Kingdom? I thought
it preferable to have the Prime Minister actually focused on the impending catastrophe that we faced on that day. And I thought that, generally speaking, him talking to the DAs did not advance any cause.
The devolved administrations had an entitlement, surely, to be able to confer with the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom in the face of this unprecedented crisis.
They did, and they did confer, but generally speaking, it was better for them to confer either with officials or with Michael Gove than with the PM. Number 10 is not configured to be the nerve centre of a national crisis like COVID.
Because of the absence of personnel or the absence of structure that allows people in Number 10 to liaise with all the other parts of government?
In every way. Physically, in terms of in terms of the physical layout, and the lack of the proper rooms that you would have for a crisis centre, in terms of the personnel, in terms of the power, as I've tried to explain. Real power on these things is almost entirely in the Cabinet Office, not in Number 10. So Number 10 was just completely unsuitable for this. That's why I tried to change it in January and try to change it again in the summer.